The broadcast is live.
Hello. Welcome to a People's Voice production.
Whatever this is.
We got a little, we're having some technical issues tonight, so bear with us. And let's see here. Andrea, could you mute your mic for a minute while we get everything going? Thank you. All right. Now, hello, folks. Oh, yeah. The chat. The chat is already popping, I guess. Tonight, we're talking about stuff. I am going to be talking about some stuff about child labor and the severe regression that not just the United States, but we're going to talk about the United States and regression on child labor. And then we're going to throw it over to Tennessee, maybe, or Paris, Tennessee. And Paris is burning, and Tennessee is too a little bit. But yeah. But before we get into all that, how's everybody doing tonight? How you doing, Andrea?
I'm having mic issues, so if you can't hear me, I'm just say something, so I'll just yell louder. I'm not much for yelling, so I will try my hardest to yell. I'm doing good. I'm great. How about you?
I'm much the same. We had a big Easter dinner today. I ate 2 plates, brought 3 home, and I'm going to attack them later. Flyce, did you eat today? Did y'all, or what y'all do? What y'all get into?
We had barbecue. It was very good. We just had like a small family thing with the girls. It was very nice. Hello, Z. Hello, Where.
Yes,
Y'all doing
sir.
good, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a nice
so.
day. It finally stopped raining, so it was sunny. They got all dressed up, and I cooked, and now I'm sleepy.
Well, yeah. Actually, speaking of sleepy, I forgot to get something to drink before this thing started. So, might say, Felice, or you think you can talk about what's happening in Paris and maybe what hopefully what we might see in the United States here soon?
Well, hopefully, yeah, I can do that. So right now in Paris, there's a huge general strike that's been going on for the last 14 days. And on the 11th day, they decided they were going to go down to BlackRock and protest about the fact that their pensions were getting pushed back. And they ended up burning it down. Just burning down the building. It's gorgeous. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous sight. And if I could get my computer working, I do have video. But before that, Andrea, I see you laughing. So I would love to hear what you have to say about BlackRock burning.
Okay, well, considering BlackRock probably bought the pension changes, and they're this international conglomeration of parasite fucking realtors and hedge fund people and pushing back like, hey, wait, the population's getting smaller, so we need all the people to work longer, unless you're poor or disabled, and then you can just get COVID and die. So, like, I have no sympathy. None. You deserve to be burned to the ground. I'm sorry. Like, you're screwing these people over, and then you just thought that nothing would ever happen to you. The pitchforks come out when you fuck people over one too many times. It seems like they never learn. Like, these oligarchs never learn. We repeat this cycle every 50 years or every 75 years. Somebody's getting their shit burned to the ground because they couldn't learn from the last people who got their shit burned to the ground. Yeah, look at that. Well, fuck around. So basically, I just don't have any sympathy. I find that hilarious. It was an empty building, and everybody wants, they're probably mad. Like, you did destruction of property. I'm like, they do destruction of countries. It's not the same. Anyway, that's why I laugh. But back to you.
I'm getting my thing working now, so hold on
Well,
one second.
I,
If
I
Austin
was
wants
just
to comment.
I was just thinking about how the French do know how to party. Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw some of those videos where, uh, I hope they got some equipment out of there. That'd be good too. Figure out where all the bodies are hidden at least some of them. And I think, what is it? BlackRock is at 10 trillion for its size. Uh, BlackRock's at 10 trillion. We got kids going to sleep and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's more than a lot, the GDP of a lot of countries. It's
Combined.
actually, yeah, I think if per year, only China and the U.S. would be bigger if as far as GDP per year, if you look at that as a metric, even though we're mixing stuff up. But still, 10 trillion, and they have their hands in
Everything.
everything, right? I
Well, and
mean,
it's nighttime. The building is closed. There's not going to be anybody in it. The worst thing that happens is they have to replace some computers. All of their shit is backed up on multiple servers all over the world. Like they lost nothing. But maybe they're feeling a little bit, maybe a little less inclined to meddle in other people's countries' financial decisions. But I doubt it because they don't learn. But whatever, just good, good. Good. They just created jobs. Someone has to rebuild the building and clean all that up. Look at that job creation. Solid, good government union jobs. I love it. It's fantastic. We have to protect the business makers, right? Isn't that what they say? Like, protect the people that make jobs. Well, we have now an obligation, an economic obligation to support the French protesters because they're job creators. Give them tax breaks. They
oh
totally deserve tax breaks.
yeah, that's some Zorg shit where we got like from Fifth Element, that dude.
Yes.
I can't do a Zorg impression. I did want to start working on a Werner von Braun impression tonight, but I don't know. But look at this, man. They're
Hey,
in there. They are in there.
and they didn't steal anything. They just burned it to the ground. Wow. Well, good job, Ben. It's concrete. What did they use? Wow, the French know how to get mad. They're like looking around. What?
Oh my God.
That never happened here.
It warms your heart.
And it warmed the whole block.
It does. What are,
Warmed,
I was trying to see what all the crazy flags they had, but, you know,
Union flags, probably. France is
probably.
really unionized, and so the union's called General Strike, and a lot of them applied this time. I mean, usually the unions you call the General Strike in France, and they have them pretty frequently. Like you will see strikes in France pretty frequently, which I'm like, I had a friend from France tell me once they teach them how to protest in high school. I was like, they don't they don't teach us that in high school here. We don't learn how to do that. So
No, you're right. We have a severe undereducation, uh, especially like civics,
mm,
finances, health, learning about yourself, how a body works, and all that good stuff.
you
You know,
know,
I,
I
I wish I'd known. I wish I'd known the human brain don't stop forming till 25. Uh, I would have waited. I would have put off a lot of decisions.
I know, they're like, your brain isn't going to be fully developed until 2 years after you graduate college, but pick what you want to do for the rest of your life. Uh, right? It's no good.
Hmm.
Yes, here you go.
No.
No, we see and hear you.
Mm-mm. Oh, don't.
All right, well, I guess we can talk about Tennessee. Let's see if we can get the Twitter down, maybe. Or we can pull up stories about Tennessee.
So yeah, Tennessee.
That was a clusterfuck this week. I think my favorite part was when it was Justin Jones, was like, Representative Justin Jones, was like, there's a guy here that peed on someone else's chair and we're getting thrown out for decorum violations. Like, I just thought to myself, you're not even housebroken and you're judging somebody else. Like, okay, so for anyone who may have been under a rock this week that didn't see what happened in Tennessee, um, last week there was the mass shooting at Covenant School. Now, I want to just go out and say right now, that school had teachers who were carrying guns. The doors were all locked and hardened. It's not a soft target anymore, lies. Um, so every wet dream of homosexuals had already been fulfilled regarding this school. They did everything that they said was gonna save them from an active shooter, and it didn't. Yeah. So when the people of 10,000, 10,000 students walked into the Tennessee Capitol, and they were in places they were allowed to be. And when it filled up, the rest of them stood outside, and they stood there demanding gun law reform. Tennessee doesn't have much in the way of gun laws. It's an open carry, get your license. You don't need a license. You can, like one of those places, you can take your gun everywhere. So they, yep, that's Justin Jones. And I guess he had some bad blood with Tennessee legislature before he was ever elected because he was a huge voice behind getting the racist statues taken down. And that, you remember that big kerfuffle, the Tennessee legislature, the governor, everyone was so pissed off. They were like, no, we're where the KKK started. We're Nathan Forrest, what's his last name? Racist fuckhead.
Oh, and fucking Bedford Forest,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Bedford Forrest.
Yeah,
We have
fucking.
just
Do
total
you think?
trash.
Do you think there's like Nathaniel Bedford Forrest fan erotica out there?
Yeah, I'm sure there is because things exist whether I want them to or not.
Yeah,
Well, there's a rule about that on the internet.
Rule
Yeah,
34.
Hmm. Yeah, there's always porn of it.
yeah, always.
Unfortunately, no matter how bad I don't want it to be.
So, three representatives, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, stood up with their constituents who were demanding these things. 10,000 kids were at the Capitol. And when the kids all got there, like the GOP always does, these cowards ran. They recessed the legislature and they booked it because they're like, this is an insurrection. That is what they call their own children. This is an insurrection. That is what they call children peacefully protesting for their right to not get shot in school. They call them
Mm.
insurrectionists. Well, so these three representatives got up and they supported their constituents. Oh, yeah, here, scroll back up real quick. Right there. You see how he's got that bullhorn? So they used the bullhorn and the fact that they stood up as a reason to expel these kids, well, not kids, from the legislature. And then they voted on it. And the first guy, the one who, Justin Jones, who was helping get the statues removed, was expelled immediately. I mean, he gave an incredibly good speech. He was all in. He went through the list too. Like, there's a guy on the education committee right now who or was before he went to jail, who molested multiple girls, admitted it, but they didn't expel them because expulsion for child molestation and grooming isn't going to happen because he's part of the good old boy club. And who cares? You can get more girls.
And that wasn't that long ago. It's not, right?
No. And then there's another guy, a doctor, who was prescribing opiates to his lover, who is also his second cousin, and his family. That guy's still in the legislature. The cousin fucking drug dealer still in the fucking legislature because somehow
Man, you gotta keep tear your plugs.
Second cousin. He was fucking second cousin. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Okay, but beyond the disgusting, there's another guy who's now in the leadership who pissed on somebody else's chair. He pissed on someone else's chair. Like, these are the kind of people.
Literally.
In the chamber.
Well, I mean.
He whipped his dick out in the chamber. Well, that's sexual harassment, A. And pissed all over the furniture. Like a puppy.
I mean, you know.
There is no well, I mean, you know.
Home of the free.
I thought, no. The Bober moron.
Home of the P. I'm sorry. Home of the P.
The Bober moron 2 weeks ago was going off about
land of the, I can't finish it.
Public urination. Okay, anyway, right. So
here, how about real quick? Let's play this little clip from these folks real quick. Let's hear.
You know, so often people look over states like Tennessee, and for so long we felt alone. What the nation has seen, what the world has seen, it's just another day in the Tennessee General Assembly.
Lastly, you talked about Monday. What is happening this upcoming week, and do y'all feel safe?
Personally, I know I've had several phone conversations about getting security, and that's something we are going to move forward with. It is just in this moment where you have, it's no longer extremism because this is just the way they operate. Monday, while I might not be in the House, on the House floor, I would definitely be in the people's house, chanting, singing, speaking, in order that we can get just legislation passed on this.
I just hope the nation sees the moral insanity that a week after a mass shooting terrorized Nashville, I used to represent a part of Nashville. The legislature's response to that grief is not to pass common sense gun laws, but it's to expel their colleagues for calling for action. We were calling for an assault weapons ban. They responded by assaulting democracy. The nation needs to see what's going on in Tennessee. You know, so often.
So yeah, guns, top killer of children, followed by cars in this country. Number one, baby.
People think about mass shootings, but really most people, especially kids, are killed because the guns aren't secured. Because a parent, you know what? And I'm a gun owner. I own guns. I love my guns. You're not getting them. I use them to keep myself alive. My guns are in safes because the safes are locked to things. The kids think I don't own guns. Like, they don't know. And when they're here, it's not just in a safe. It's in a safe that's locked to a cabinet. Like, they can't even get it out of the cabinet.
There's safe ways to have guns easily.
You know, it's not even that hard.
Mm-hmm. And it's just insane that this is the reason that these two ended up being ejected from Congress, because literally in their state, like you said, there are so many who should already be gone who are still there. They didn't even go through the ethics committee like they're supposed to first before this ever even came to a vote. So they didn't even follow like their own protocols. And these people are loved by their communities, obviously. And they've just taken them away for no real reason other than the fact they don't like their politics, which isn't a good reason. That's why we have multiple, parties that are supposed to be doing something, but we all know that doesn't happen.
I'll tell you why those guys were ejected, and it had absolutely nothing to do. It was just the reason they used, right? When you listen to those men talk. So, do you guys remember when Georgia was running Herschel Walker? And you could see the bigger accounts on Black Twitter talking about the reason Herschel Walker is gaining the popularity he's gaining is because Herschel Walker represents two white people of a certain kind. The only thing a Black man can do. A person who abandons his children, who has multiple abortions, who engages in domestic violence, who can't speak well, who's easily manipulated and not smart, right? That is what they have told themselves and the people around them since this country started. Those men, Justin and Justin, are not Herschel Walker and will never be Herschel Walker, and they destroy the racist narrative of Black men being incapable of being peacemakers. That unite people, that care about the constituents, whether they're white or Black, no matter what, they're going to do their job to the best of their ability. And it made those white men look bad. They were ejected for making white men look bad. It is fucking racism. That was it. And Justin Pearson, he talks about the patriarchy. How dare a Black man comment on the patriarchy that white men use to control white women?
Can we find the video of them talking? Like, there's a few videos that have been up on Twitter where there's the speeches that they gave.
And they're amazing. And
they're amazing speeches.
And they
I need to learn how to spell speech.
It's okay. We got Southern education. We're not supposed to know how to spell things.
So
oh God, not anything she's saying. No.
Yeah.
Okay, him.
So it's just that these men are like Fred Hampton, like MLK. They unite people. They love people. They are human beings. And the one thing that legislature was not going to tolerate was Black men walking into that chamber like they were human beings, the same as white men.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, Gloria Johnson would have got it too. But what'd she get? Now you be a good girl and you can come back to the white club. That's what she got.
All right, we're going to play this real quick.
Yeah.
On Saturday, all hope seemed to be lost. Representatives were thrown out of the state house. Democracy seemed to be at its end. Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes. Resurrection is a promise, and it is a prophecy. It's a prophecy that came out of the cotton fields. It's a prophecy that came out of the lynching tree. It's a prophecy that still lives in each and every one of us in order to make the state of Tennessee the place that it ought to be. And so I've still got hope because I know we are still here and we will never quit.
Out of order.
Damn, that was good. Like, you don't even have to be religious. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, and you can hear it when he speaks. And in America, this has always been that the articulate black man is a particular risk, right? How many have been assassinated? Seriously, be real. A particular risk. Just because there's millions and millions of articulate black men walking this country's ground, right, doesn't take anything away from these racist fucktards that have to see the Herschel Walker. I'm
No.
excited to see where these guys go next.
Well,
Hopefully, the state house because they can.
well, here's a good question, right? So we often see folks come out fired up, and then suddenly they're launched into these other echelons. And, I always say, or I don't always say, I heard said, uh, and power reveals character. And I'm not questioning these folks' character at this moment or none of that. I'm just saying, are these folks going to be different than the squad? Which I hope. Every time I see somebody, I have hope, but I'm often disappointed because they're in the Democratic Party, and
Yeah, we want them.
and the Democratic Party, is I'm not sure about all the politics of Tennessee at the state level, but I assume they get a lot of their funding from corporations and stuff still. And I'm not sure how they got elected and how they ran their campaign. They could have definitely done grassroots and all that. But I just they're focused on this mission right now, and I wish them luck, and I think they'll be successful. And I just hope nobody tries to co-op them or nothing like that. That's always a concern of mine.
I don't think that's going to be a problem with them, though.
I think you're right.
They seem to already be pushing back pretty hard. At least I'm hopeful.
Right.
I think that they're probably going to do a lot more as activists than they ever would have done as politicians, though.
Especially because Tennessee is so gerrymandered. The GOP has a supermajority.
But
right?
with this, though, this should be happening in all the states. There's folks like this doing this stuff. Who's going to be successful? Who's not? Why? Why not? We have to look at these things. See,
I think that we're looking honestly at a sea change with Gen Z coming of age, and one of them is Gen Z or just barely out of. And I spent the evenings scrolling socials just to see what the reaction was, right? On TikTok or Twitter or whatever, looking at just to see what people were saying. Not adults, Gen Z. And I don't think I've ever seen someone more pissed off than Gen Z was watching that happen. 10,000 of them stormed the Capitol. They said, stormed the Capitol. Oh my God, they walked up.
Are they doing any terrorist charges on any of them folks like they did at Cop City?
Nah.
Let's hope not.
No, because they didn't break any laws. Nobody's been arrested. Nothing's been damaged. There's been not that Cop City was. But what I'm saying is that the people who went to Tennessee made it a special point to be incredibly nonviolent and non-destructive because they knew they were going into enemy territory, right? Like, not enemy territory, but you know what I mean. But when Justin Pearson or Jones was expelled, there were thousands of kids standing there chanting, "Fuck you, fascists."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was.
Right?
Yeah. Let me try to find that while y'all talk.
But I do think it's really important to note two things. One is that Gloria Jones retained her seat by one vote, which fucked Tennessee's legislature. Because if they had thrown out all three, right? Oh, here, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's music to the ears.
You wanted France, right? That's just great. What do you see about that crowd? Because this is really important. What's the first thing you notice about that crowd? Send it through again.
Hmm.
They look young to me,
What else do they look like?
but everybody looks young to me.
But what
Younger
else do you
than,
see?
I mean, it's a bunch of white kids.
That's
There's a,
right.
there's a
It's a
bunch of white
bunch of
kids.
white young kids.
Well, I don't
That's what I
know.
mean about
A
uniting people.
coalition indeed needs to happen among folks, but probably like
It's
uh,
already happening with Gen Z.
right, but like ultimately, like white supremacy is a white problem. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Oh, I
So
don't question that they should be there.
Well, it's
yeah,
actually then like saying that white supremacy is a white problem because it is. That the fact that instead of a ton of black youth going out and having to miss a day of school or something, there's white kids going and doing it so they don't have to be fighting. They can be working on what they want to be working on. Because it's not their job anymore, in my opinion, to
Well,
have
and how
to
much safer is
continually
it?
try to fight for this. Like,
What if a bunch of black youth had walked up in there like that? What would have happened?
it would be
Right?
awful
We would have
because
watched
it
the
would have a
most.
completely different reaction from the police and the media and everything else.
Right.
It falls on the white people to try to take the brunt and when they can.
Oh, I agree. But my point, the second point to that is, like, yes, I believe firmly that it is not just falls on, but it is a moral obligation to dismantle white supremacy and to do it with your body and not expect somebody else to put their body at risk. As Gloria Johnson proved this week, who is in more danger? A white woman or young black men? Any black men, any age, they don't really give a fuck. They'll beat all of them. But the second point is this. When the legislature looks out at that crowd, what they see are white kids standing with black community activists, something that they cannot tolerate because they're racist fuckballs and they want those kids to be racist fuckballs. And they're not.
divide and conquer.
It ain't
Oh,
working anymore.
exactly.
Well, okay,
Exactly.
except for the racist Nazi fucktards. Like, we're never getting monetized. I'm sorry, you guys. Never.
Shit. We got bigger plans than fucking monetization, motherfuckers.
The thing. Yeah, because who likes food?
Oh.
So
So,
this, so from Tennessee was just an
I
advanced.
did. I was gonna say, I did see that they are uh, working on getting reinstated. Am I right?
Last I heard, yes. The Constitution itself says they can. The state legislature is pressuring Shelby County and threatening to withhold funding should, I think, Justin Jones go back. That's, yeah, Nashville. So Justin Jones, because Pearson's like the Knoxville. Um, to withhold the state money. So if that happens, if they send Justin back, if the council sends Justin back, then the state is threatening to withhold money for projects that people need. So not only did they hurt the constituents of that county already by ejecting their legally elected representative, leaving them with no representative in their state legislature, they are also threatening to withhold needed funds, hurting every man, woman, and child in that county. So even if you're a conservative, even if you're a white 65-year-old dude who's lived there since your grandpappy came over on some fucking ship somewhere, um, like what the Maria, the Santa Maria, I don't know. I'm a great historian. Um, you also have no representation, and you are also going to be harmed by the legislature withholding funds should you send that person back. But we all know that those kind of people are willing to be hurt if it means that they can hurt other people.
Well,
So
yeah, the cruelty is the point.
the
Let
cruelty is
us
the point.
never forget that.
Mm-mm. So I do have hope for these men. I think that the fact that Gloria Johnson did not abandon them, that as soon as she walked off that floor, she walked right over to the press and somebody said, you know, what makes it different? Why do you think he got thrown out and you didn't? And she's like, well, I suspect it has something to do with the color of our skin. And then she gave a national interview and she goes, well, I don't know why, but I suspect it's because I'm a 60-year-old white woman.
Yeah, I love it, like how reporters they're so coy. It's like, so what do you think that was about? What
Well,
do
they
you think that was about? Huh?
It's like Beto being like, what the fuck, members of the press? What do you think I think? After El Paso shooting, right? They got him on camera being like, what the fuck? And that,
But hey, all right. So
yeah,
I was gonna say did we finish up everything up on Paris before the technical issues?
Oh, well, the thing I wanted to talk about with Paris was if we thought that that type of revolutionary acts could actually be happening in America. Uh, Personally, I don't think so, just because of our police here are so much more militarized. That's my thought process. I don't think that that type of revolution could happen here without significant death happening. And that's not happening in Paris. So I wanted to get y'all's viewpoints on it, and if y'all thought differently than me or if you agreed.
I, I think that I agree. And I think also this is what would have happened the next day, right? Some taxis would have been out there cleaning it up for free, right? Like, oh, look what you did. This is terrible. Let me clean this for you, Mr. $2 trillion person who's got offices all over the world and you're busy exploiting me, but I need to clean up this glass for you for free because that's just not right. People disturbed the peace and broke things. And I'm like, can you fucking taxis get your shit together? So then half of the population would be arguing over whether or not violence, well, no, violence is never the answer, but whether, you know, it's unfair to corporations to be targeted like that and all this shit. No, because people here are just like so interested in licking that fucking boot. I don't even understand it. No, don't go and burn anything down, though. Seriously, though, don't, because somebody will kill you for it. And we did see the extrajudicial murder under the Trump administration with the marshals in Oregon. Um, and I don't trust, especially Republican governors, not to do the same thing to activists, hurting people that fund their campaigns. I don't. So do not go out there and burn shit down. Do not go out there and do the violence thing because I think that it's going to get you killed. That's what I think.
Austin.
Uh, I would tend to agree. I mean, self defense is one thing, but trying to pull off some of this shit, uh, we don't have the solidarity like France does. In a nutshell, um, they've, in my opinion, the labor, the back of labor was broken on, in '80 with Reagan, and you know that along with other issues, you know, uh, have has us where it's hard for us to get some of this together. However, I did see this week that there were some worker shortage strikes around my favorite port to blockade, the port of LA. So if
We seem to have more small scale solidarity, which isn't good. That was something I noticed when
it is
this
good,
first happened.
we need it bigger. Yeah,
Yeah, we
like
can. And I think that we can end up getting to a point. It's going to take a lot more time. Like for this, they announced it, and then the weekend came and they started striking. And they have rights to strike there in their laws. We have the opposite here. And what's crazy to me is they have this much solidarity and are doing all this just because of a retirement age being pushed back. When we have so much more here that is happening that's way worse than a retirement age being pushed back, and we won't even leave our houses for it. We have
anybody.
people being murdered in the street, and we have homelessness that's rampant and people dying without health care. But we still don't have this level of solidarity that they have for a pension. It's kind
Yeah,
of crazy and sad that America's like that to me.
Austin?
I was going to say, for context, they're trying to go from 60 to 62, and the U.S. is at 67. So you don't know everything, and you don't worry about fucking retirement shit till you're that age. But yeah, by the time I'm that age, they would probably, in a perfect capitalist world, Social Security would be gone optimally for them. But privatized is what they're trying to do. But yeah, you know,
At this point, I'm not even making it to 60.
Yes, you are.
With how everything's going on. You think the world's gonna last till I'm 60?
Yes, I do.
Ah,
Here's what else though. Here's the thing. If you guys want
retirement schmirement.
see, too many people say that, and you're gonna make it. I promise. Okay, so
if I end up being 60 in like Fallout universe, I am not going to be happy. I don't want to be with them women. They look so ratty. I don't need it.
I like my hair. Okay, so the one thing I can say is, if we want this, then we need to unionize. Just get the fuck out there and unionize. Go be a union organizer. Go to Starbucks, go to Amazon, go to Walmart, go to McDonald's, go everywhere. You know where else you need to go? Bethesda. You need to go to Blizzard. You need to go to Microsoft. You need to go to Google. You need to go to Apple. You need to go to give me some other tech places. I don't know. Oracle. Go everywhere and organize. Like, people think these white collar jobs are something to be like. You ever been on salary? You're on salary. They work you 60 hours a fucking week. They don't pay you overtime. You don't get a lunch. You're dying of a stroke in your chair at 55 because you never got to be able out of it. Right? Fucking unionize IT. Unionize IT, unionize everything, and that's how you get this. If you want this, fucking unionize every goddamn thing on earth. Unionize the colleges, unionize the schools.
Unionizing's a good start. Worker co-ops a next level if you pull it off, folks.
Just you want this, you want change, you want power for the workers. Fucking unionize. Stop thinking of the unions like they lied. They lied to you. Unions are to protect you. You're like, I hear so many people like, oh, unions don't work, unions are corrupt, unions are. Look, your boss only told you that because he don't want to pay you. There's no other reason. Fucking unionize. Okay, so that's my rant on unionize everything.
Unionize everything everywhere is the thing everyone should leave with. Truly.
I think that.
I mean, honestly, not even joking. Unionize. It's the only way to push back against corporations.
Unionize the child factory workers.
In a way that's not burning down the corporation like they did there. Which, I mean, I'm not saying do that because that's,
Bill Bradley
private property, and we don't. The cops don't like when you say to do things to private property. But I'm just saying, it gets cold randomly in the spring. Fires are warm.
Bill
works.
Bradley made a good point. It does take capital to start a worker co-op. Unionizing is free. So there you
Well,
go. There it is.
And you did make a very good point too about unionizing child labor. So I got a 12-year-old, and I've already got her doing a PowerPoint with her and her, the kids in her school, going to get them unionized so we can stop selling all this fucking candy and shit for shit that should be funded anyway, and raise the teacher salary. But yeah, child labor, it's on a comeback. And if I can bring this up, there's
I don't get the concept of child labor at all while you're bringing that up. It doesn't make sense to me. I have two children. I've seen their art projects. I don't want them making my shoes. Like, even without, like, the ethics behind it, what is the logic? There is none.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Justin Bieber when he was a kid playing drums? Imagine that little motherfucker in a factory, dude. Just like pushing shit. Fucking
that poor kid.
Yeah. So child labor. Child labor has a rich history. It apparently started around the time we figured out what agriculture was. So, farm kids. There we go. But some more, and this is from not this article. There we go. This is from another article, which Truth Out, which I'm sharing the wrong article. Give me 2 seconds. I'm getting fast at this. Oh yeah.
You're getting better. You're definitely getting better.
Well, it looks like StreamYard has added a sorting effect on the screen sharing, which is making it helpful. So yes, this Truth Out. So little history. Get down somewhere, and I'm on the wrong article again. All right, I'm just gonna
so much screen time to them though that they probably appreciate it. I mean,
yeah. Let's try this one more to God, praise Him. There we go. So yes, child labor in regression.
What the fuck? Is that fucking in DC? Are you fucking kidding me?
So yeah, they're trying to introduce a bill to address some of this, but really, this bill, what does it do? It just does more fines, right? And when we think about fines or whatever, from what I understand, that fines are supposed to be such a level to be like make it very cost prohibitive to ever have a fine. But they create a bill, it has teeth, and then they gut it, and then it ends up being half-assed. It does the thing, but it does it half-assed, so it's cheaper to hire children and pay the fines than it is to do the right thing. There's kids.
All because of greed, because there's absolutely no other reason, and it's not like they don't have enough money. It's just gross.
Yeah, and my theory is insane. Some idiot was like, well, what parent would send their kids to work in a factory? And I just put aside the part that said there's already these kids working in factories. A bunch of people just got fined for it, right? Like last month. I was like, how many people will send their children to a child marriage in the United States? Or in Alabama, or Georgia, or wherever, Idaho, Iowa. Where is that stupid bitch talking about? Arkansas. So she was like, well, that doesn't really prove they're going to send them to work in a factory. I'm like, they send them to be house slaves and raped by people older than them. I can guarantee you they're sending them to a fucking factory. Right. They are children.
So yeah, they are, and they're, yeah, you're saying Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas, up in Iowa. You know, they're trying to get 12-year-olds. They've already got 12-year-olds in meat packing facilities, and yeah, just like y'all said, uh, a 12-year-old operating heavy machinery like that. Uh, it's beyond the pale. I mean, but it's beyond the pale to us, but it's perfectly logical, and that's what they want.
I fucking hate them.
The system keeps squeezing, and it will keep finding where it can extract value and profits, and it always comes after the kids. Like they back in the day, they sit there and they would fire dads and hire the kids at a cheaper rate, you know. But
It seems to usually be the last thing, though, because usually that's the thing that we're most protective of in a society is our children. The thing is, I'm a little concerned because we saw with COVID that the level of, I don't even know what word it would be now. Just
lack of.
Yeah, lack of just caring for your fellow person in general. Like, people just don't care anymore. Like, at first I was thinking, oh, the moms around here won't let that happen. But then I'm like, wait a minute. No, they totally would let that happen, probably. And that's kind of sad. I mean, I'm not personally going to let that happen around here if I have any way to do that. But, I mean, it's very odd how much has changed. Because I keep thinking this is going to be the thing. No, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be the thing that changes people's minds and opens people's eyes. And they're like, okay, this is not okay. But it's just like some people just refuse to see it at this point. And I'm very confused by it.
Well, I think it's more like this. I think the thing happens, and some people see it, some people change their minds, but it never seems to be such a, we get trying to find tipping points, right? Where there's a mass of change. I think there's a massive change in this country happening now. It's just, we have, honestly, a bit of more of a uphill fight in a manner than France because of some issues we illustrated before. But they child labor. I mean, doing my research and stuff. There's some. I'm going to share with you some nightmare fuel. How about that, y'all?
Yay!
So
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So one of the things, I don't even know what the fuck this is, but one of the things that kids used to do is they were mud logs. I don't know exactly what that is. Yeah. But that's something that sounds pretty shitty. So another thing I heard was powder monkey. So these little kids, and they could be as young as 6, would run like down to where the magazine or where the gunpowder on one of those big old sailing ships were, and then they'd run upstairs and give it to the guns. They'd have to do this so that shit don't blow up, so the ship don't blow up. Yeah.
I would not depend on a 6-year-old to prevent the ship from blowing up.
Well, most of them are 12, as young as 6.
I would not depend on a 12-year-old to prevent the ship from blowing up.
Yeah.
Unless they had a little bit more responsible 6-year-olds. I don't.
My 6-year-old, but I wouldn't trust my 7-year-old now. He's just turned 7 with a lighter, let alone like.
Didn't they just try to give a bird a full carrot?
Yes, they did. It was amazing. No, that was my 14-year-old. That was my 14-year-old. I wouldn't. I love that child till the end of the earth, but I don't know that they're completely ready for bird responsibility, let alone wife responsibility or factory responsibility or any kind of real responsibility. She tried to feed the carrot to the birds by dumping an entire carrot on top of the bird cage. Like, the birds didn't even know what to do with that. It's just, well, one thing too we got to talk about is that you remember during COVID, Trump rolled back a bunch, and even before COVID, a bunch of safety regulations for meatpacking factories and anything else deemed essential. So these kids are already going into jobs that are less safe than they were for the adults 4 years ago. They sped up the lines to get the meat packets. More injuries are coming. Like, there was a pretty sharp increase of injuries, I remember reading. And now they're sending kids in to do this stuff. Like, already dangerous factory conditions. This is like Jeff Bezos' wet dream. You could fire all the adults and just get a bunch of 12-year-olds in there. I just,
Oh, yeah.
I love his ex-wife. She's creating the next generation of children who will never work for men like Jeff Bezos, and she makes me happy. But here's what I can say about the child labor stuff. It was never made federally illegal. What happened was state by state by state. Starting in Michigan, because of the General Federation of Women's Club, the women here walked from Detroit to Lansing to demand an end to child labor. And it worked. And then once Michigan passed those laws, other states started passing them until eventually, I think like Alabama or something was the last one to institute child labor laws. Hey, you were also the last ones to institute a statewide school system. Feel pride. Um,
I'm doing my Trump thumbs up.
yeah, good job. So because every state just banned it, and there is constitutionally, it's a little bit iffy for the feds to come in and set labor standards, because SCOTUS has always said this is a state's issue. Like, the precedent goes all the way back to the day this country was founded. SCOTUS has always said, not that precedents matters anymore or laws or anything if you're SCOTUS people. Yeah, me too. But so anyway, the states can unroll these because of that. So
Part of it is also like children as property to parents and stuff like that, you know. And there's exceptions to, like, if you work family businesses, you can be younger than 12.
mhm.
But yeah, I didn't know that Michigan had some of that progressiveness on that issue. That's where that started. You know, I always thinking about, whenever I think about a progressive, as shitty as it sounds, honestly, a progressive policy always seems to be that California has some of the more progressive policies that come up. But yeah.
Now Michigan's kind of, the labor history alone is amazing here. It's amazing. But I think we're running over time.
I think we're getting, yeah.
We're about an hour now, and
Yes.
it is getting late. It is 11:11. Make a wish, everybody who's watching it live, and on the East Coast.
Yeah, for me it's 11.
But there's one more fact I want to share before we say goodbye. So the chimney sweep kids, after, when they first start working or whatever, their owner, they like rub the grit and stuff on them and like turn their body with the grit and all, put armor on them, kind of, so when they're climbing up and stuff. So yeah, that's
At least they gave
pretty,
them armor.
yeah, pretty cool. You come to the job.
I mean, I like armor.
You get dirt armor.
Dirt armor is like the worst armor. Y'all never even played Minecraft? Like, leather armor is superior to dirt armor. Like,
I always made sure I had diamond armor immediately, as soon as possible, to start digging down.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, this has been great. It's great to see you. Oh,
The
it sure
fraternity
is.
wet dream, that's great.
Hey.
Well, yeah, because we stopped looking at the comments there.
Yeah. Hey, yo, this has been a People's Voice Network production. Go visit our shit and
Like and subscribe. Right. We're supposed to
Like,
do that.
subscribe, leave a comment.
Push
We're
the
getting it together,
notification
slowly
button.
but surely.
There's a bell somewhere on YouTube. It's a mystery to
Yeah,
me.
it's like
'cause-
underneath here.
Yeah. Push the bell button.
yeah,
Push the
help
like button.
Andrea. Help Andrea buy another mic.
Oh, fuck off. Oh my God. I will buy a mic this week. Jesus.
And hope my camera is actually working and I'm not on my cell phone next week.
But you look gorgeous. You look gorgeous today.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're so gorgeous. I love your hair. Okay.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to go hide because, compliments. And
Yeah.
we will see y'all next time.
Love you guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Ciao.